Welcome to the Geeks and Greeks podcast, where we bring you the latest and greatest in the world of sports. I'm Adam.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Tom, and in this episode for Wednesday, February 18th, 2026, we have Geeks and Greeks news.
We also have the Hall of Fame discussion for all of the three major sports, the Olympic medal update, and NBA All-Star recap.
So grab your favorite team's jersey, settle in with some snacks, don't forget to like and subscribe, and get ready for an adrenaline-packed ride through the world of sports.
And here we go.
All right, welcome back, guys. It's been a while, man. We recorded early last time, and it feels like it's been way longer than like a week and a couple days.
I know, it feels like 2 weeks.
I'm starting to get kind of twitchy. I'm like, dude, I missed this, man. I need to record something here soon.
Was my hair this long last time we recorded?
I don't know. Who knows? I think I fell asleep for a couple years. Oh, man. Like, it's also weird to think that we're more than half done with February at this point. Like,
I know.
I hate getting older and how quickly time goes now. Like, I feel like the year just started and we're already almost 2 months through it. Like, this is nuts.
Yeah, and I'm still dealing with the fallout from December at this point.
You know what? I'm dealing with the fallout for the entire season.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, man. But, it's good to be back, and I can't wait to get into the rest of our stuff. So let's go ahead and get on to our first topic, Tom. What do we got?
Starting off with Geeks and Greeks news. About 2 weeks ago, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl in Santa Clara, California. Sam Darnold and the Seahawks each won $178,000 as a bonus for winning. The Seahawks practiced in Santa Clara for 8 days, played the Super Bowl, and then left. And guess what? The state of California is charging Sam Darnold $249,000. That's right. California's out-of-state jocks tax is going to leave Sam Darnold with a $71,000 bill for visiting California, and he won.
Yeah, I mean, this happens with all sports, though. So, like, with every sport, wherever you play at, and because they get paid for the game itself, so you pay the taxes for that state. So...
But my only beef with that is California is the only state that charges its jock tax based on annual salary. Every other state is what you make. They charge you a jock tax for when you're there.
Yeah.
So they would, if California was a normal state like New York, they would have charged him based on the 178.
I think it was like the one game. Well, it was the one
Yeah.
game because that 170 is a bonus. So he still gets, I think, paid the rest of it.
Yeah.
So
Hey, whatever happened to no tax on tips, huh?
Yeah, seriously, right, man?
or overtime. This is overtime, right, for him? I mean, we're out of regular season, so this is overtime.
Overtime pay. Yeah, exactly.
But in closing, I want to say, California, you're a bully, you're a dumpster fire of a state, and now you've got me defending Sam Darnold. How dare you?
Hey, don't drag down the state that supports the rest of the country, all right?
Moving into the NFL report card. Now, this has been going on for 3 years-ish, where the players union for the NFL will send out surveys to the players, receive the feedback, and then put out report card for the NFL teams and grading them on various topics. Well, the owners started to feel a way about this, and they put a grievance, citing that this report card was disparaging NFL clubs and individuals. Well, this week it was determined that the owners were right and the report cards were disparaging, but not for the reasons you might think. Turns out the players' union were straight up fabricating these report cards. They were they refused to produce the data related to the surveys. The witnesses and counsel admitted that the PA cherry-picked topics and responses to include in the report card. The players had no role in the commentary included, and some commentary was even written by staffers instead of players. And then the PA chose which anonymous players' quotes to use. The PA applied the weight and each topic directly impacting the final character grade for each team. In spite of all of this, I still say the report card is a good thing, just not done this way.
I mean, I could have sworn the players came out and said they did this, though. That's the weird part.
Yeah, that's just baffling to me. Why would you do that?
This is where it gets a little dicey because it's kind of a he said, she said kind of thing, but the owners are accusing the players' union of bad-mouthing owners under the guise of the report card to give the players leverage over the owners in negotiations. Maybe, but that's
weird. I mean, if this is all true and they actually did just make up like a majority of this, that really sucks. Because I mean, this is good for the players and honestly for fans to really know what the players actually think.
Now, I wanna clarify. They never said how much of this was fabricated, cherry-picked, distorted, but the arbitrators said that it was definitely going on. So,
I mean, I can believe that, like, as for owners, like the Bengals and the Jets clearly get an F because they have two of the worst owners in football.
But even with all of this, I wish they could keep doing a good report card because I'm a huge fan of anonymous surveys reflecting how an organization is working, and that helps the organization improve.
I mean, you'd think so. Clearly, it doesn't help some.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is, but in your notes, you wrote PA did some sketchy shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I didn't read up about this. What did my state do? Shit. Was it the Eagles or was it the Steelers? I hope it was the Steelers.
I mean, the Steelers sketchy shit was hiring Mike McCarthy.
That's fair.
Let's be real here. And the fact that they're talking about bringing back Aaron Rodgers.
Moving on to the Dolphins of all teams, who achieved a 7-10 record, cut ties with former head coach Mike McDaniel, and now have released 4 players. The 2 most significant being wide receiver Tyreek Hill and defensive end Bradley Chubb.
Like, I mean, Tyreek Hill kind of makes sense. You got a receiver who really can only run out routes or go routes because he's not a good route runner. And you've got a quarterback that can't throw deep. So, I mean, and no one's going to trade for him because he just had that ACL surgery and broke his knee. So nobody's trading for him either. I mean, I get releasing Tyreek Hill, and I wouldn't be surprised if he misses probably half the season coming up, still recovering from that knee surgery.
Okay, so if you think Tyreek Hill was released because he's not the best fit for Tua, does that kind of answer my next question? Do you think they're going to cut Tua as well?
I don't think so because they've got too much they have too much of a cap hit to release Tua. They're not going to save money by releasing him this year.
That's a good
He's
point.
gonna. They're kind of gonna. I don't think necessarily quite a Deshaun Watson thing, but I think they're gonna look for a replacement, and or just wrap him in bubble wrap and throw him out there next year.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like a fire sale situation where they're getting
Yeah.
rid of everything, but they have to keep something for their fans. Like, not for nothing, because like the fans still have to buy tickets, and still have to like tune into their games for them to make their money. So like, if you get rid of Tua on top of your big deep threat wide receiver and your head coach, and like everything is different next year, and you flop again, people are just going to turn you off. And I'm sure that's already a problem in Miami. Like, I can't imagine it's a huge market down there.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know about how well Miami's fan base really stays with them, like in the bad times like this, because they've been bad for a while.
Man.
Like they'll have
They
like a
have
year or two where they'll be good. Like they'll get a couple things and it's like they just fall back apart again.
Blake Bortles 2016, baby.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so the cap hit for Tua the 2026 season is $56 million and 54 of it's guaranteed. So I don't think they're releasing Tua.
Okay, so to close on the topic, I got a little bit of a small game. Juwan Jennings, Alec of the 49ers, Alex Pierce of the Colts, George Pickens of the Cowboys, Romeo Dobbs of the Packers, and Rashid Shaheed of the Seahawks are all wide receivers who are coming up on the end of their contracts. If any of these guys are let go, do you think any of them find their home in Miami?
I mean, depends how much Miami wants to spend.
About what they're keeping from Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I can't find him on what his cap hit is for this upcoming season. To be honest with you, but I honestly don't know. Like, I don't think that Pickens is.
I'll answer the question. Tyreek Hill has no cap hit because he's at the end of his contract. He ended in 2025.
So why did they release him?
Because they just didn't sign him. He just
they released him. They have dead cap on him of $28 million.
Really? I thought it said he was free agent this year.
He's dead money. Nope. Well, if he was a free agent, they wouldn't have had to release him.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, he's dead cap now at $28.2 million. So, but as far as the rest of the guys, I mean, I don't know, like, because they've had reports out that George Pickens is going to get the franchise tag from Dallas.
Okay.
And that they're going to work out a long-term deal after that point. Juwan Jennings might. I mean, he's a lower-tier receiver. He's like a wide receiver 2 at absolute best. I don't see Rashid Shaheed going there because he's like Tyreek Hill. He's more of an out route runner, a deep threat. And again, like, if you have a quarterback that can't throw more than 30, 40 yards downfield, there's no point in having a deep threat receiver like that because he can't get him the ball.
Well, I mean, there is kind of a point, and that's the thing I was thinking about Rashid Shaheed, because I think he might be a little cheaper than your normal deep threat. I mean, I know he went to the Pro Bowl this year. I know he won a Super Bowl this year. But I mean, the guy had 687 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, that's not epic numbers. He's not going to be pulling in a big salary. So I think it might actually be a good fit for him to be in Miami, because you still need the deep threat to keep the defense honest, right?
That is fair.
If they're not guarding it. So, I mean, I think it most likely out of that group would be Shaheed.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Juwan Jennings going back to the 49ers, mostly because, I mean, a lot of those guys kind of have a tendency to stay, and he's not really a big name target either for that. So, I mean, this year was probably by far his best season. I mean, yeah, he had 643 yards. He had 9 touchdowns, so he had more touchdowns, but you also have to think that, like, 49ers are missing Brandon Ayuk for almost the entire season, not the entire season. Ricky Pearsall was out for a good part of the season too because he kept getting hurt. So like they were down to like their third, fourth string receivers, and that's where Jennings and Kendrick Bourne came in. So it's like, and once Ricky Pearsall came in, he took a lot more of the targets than the rest of the guys did. So
what was it? They kept sacrificing players to keep McCaffrey healthy or something like that.
Pretty much. I mean, and then Kittle.
Yeah.
Well, also Kittle's going to be out pretty much all of next year too because he tore his ACL in the divisional round.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that Kittle's going to be out for most of next year, if not the entire season. So they're going to need some of those guys to step up. And who knows what's going on with Ayuk because he just went completely MIA from the team for a good part of last season too.
You just go to Sweden for a couple of months and you come back with a brand new ACL. It's fine.
Yeah, right? I mean, Tom Brady did it.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, who technically is currently with the Arizona Cardinals, is expected to be cut loose this season, and there is speculation that Kyler Murray may land with the Vikings, the Jets, or the Colts. As a Colts fan, I would prefer that he didn't land in Indy. I would really like to see what Daniel Jones can do if he can finish a season, but what I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this. Kyler Murray, Jets, Colts, Vikings.
I don't like him, honestly. The Jets would probably be this, like, of those three, the Jets or the Vikings, maybe. I mean, it's the whole thing with Daniel Jones is we have to see what's going to happen because, again, dude tore his, ACL? Or his Achilles, one of the two. It's either his ACL or his Achilles, one of the two.
Season-ending injury.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a major injury at that, like something like that. So it's like, who knows what his contract's going to look like? I mean, that could cost him tens of millions right there. I mean, instead of getting possibly like, high 20s, maybe low 30s, well, actually, quarterback, probably more than that, like closer to 40 maybe, he's probably looking at getting somewhere closer to $20 million to 27 because of that ACL. That's also his second one of his career. And I think he's 30, so it really depends on that. Honestly, if they didn't still have Tua, I'd like to see Kyler Murray go down to Miami, to be honest with you.
Oh, and take over for Tua?
Yeah, if they didn't have Tua, I think that would be his best spot. Either that or Minnesota, because you have you have a lot better receivers in Minnesota. I mean, you got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
Now, would you be thinking Tua 1, Murray 2, or Murray 1, Tua 2?
I mean, at this point, Murray 1, Tua 2, because I think Tua's cooked. I think Tua's done. And the only reason he's going to still be on the roster is because of how big his cap hit is. Like, I mean, I don't think Kyler's going to be released, though, either, because his dead cap is $54 million, almost $55 this year, if they release him. So if he's going to go anywhere, he's got to be traded.
Oh, man.
So I just don't see him being released. I mean, if anything, Jacoby Brissett would be probably a better fit in possibly Indy or somewhere, which is funny because he's already been in Indy once.
I was going to say, he's already been there.
Yeah.
But he played fairly well this last season when he came in for Kyler. I mean, the team itself wasn't great, but Jacoby Brissett actually played pretty decently, in all honesty. Like, him and Mac Jones are probably going to be two of the more coveted quarterbacks on the free agency market or even trade talks because they're cheap. Because Jacoby Brissett's salary cap is only $9.1 million, and none of it's guaranteed. So I mean, that's cheap for a good backup to a good fill-in for a good quarterback for that point. So, I mean, this year Jacoby Brissett had 3,300 yards, passing yards, 23 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. It's a pretty good year.
Yeah.
For $9 million?
Yeah.
You're going to tell me you wouldn't trade for that for $9 million?
They paid more than that for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Hell, I remember when, there's some backups that make more than that aren't that good.
But that brings us into the next segment of the podcast, a word from our sponsor.
Hey guys, what's up? Before we continue our show, I want to talk to you about our new sponsor, Dubby. You ever feel like you need that extra oomph to power through those late night study sessions, clutch those game wins, or finish that epic video edit? I know I do, and I finally found something that actually works without the jitters or the dreaded crash. Let me introduce you to Dubby. That's right guys, we're partnering with Dubby and we're seriously hyped. Dubby is our new go-to energy drink and it is a total game changer. What makes it so different is first off, and this is huge for me, Dubby has no artificial dyes, plus it's all completely sugar-free. So, you don't get that quick energy spike followed by a massive crash. And the taste is absolutely amazing. Dubby comes with a bunch of different flavors, such as tiger's blood, green apple, strawberry pineapple, plus limited time offers that do go quickly. I'm currently obsessed with the tiger's blood myself, but they're all really good. Alright, so how do you get your hands on this stuff? Head on over to dubby.gg and use our code GEEKS10 for 10% off your entire order. That's dubby.gg, dubby.gg. Seriously guys, go give it a try. You won't regret it. We love this project and I'm sure you will too. It's definitely been a game changer for us and I'm stoked to be sharing it with the rest of you. Now, let's go ahead and get back to our show.
That brings us into the Hall of Fame selection process. We've had some discussions about the various sports Hall of Fame and the NFL announcing the class of 2026. We thought we would take a moment to talk about the selection process for the MLB, NBA, and the NFL. Now, I'm not going to talk about the veterans, senior, extra inductees because this topic is pretty heavy as it is. So, for the MLB Hall of Fame, the baseball writers select a 6-man screening committee to assemble the list. You're eligible if you've played for 10 consecutive seasons and you've been retired for 5. And you're ineligible if you've been passed over 10 times, if in a previous year you got less than 5% of the votes, or you're just straight up on the ineligible list. See Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Then if you're a baseball writer that's been with 10 years of seniority, you get to vote. And if any player on the list has 75% of the votes, they're inducted into the Hall of Fame. I find this hilarious that they have a limit of 10 players a year. They've never even sniffed that. The most they've ever done is 4.
Yeah,
Really? Wow.
Yeah, MLB is by far the hardest Hall of Fame to get into, which, I like that their Hall of Fame is a bit more selective in who they let in. But then again, the writers also have grudges that then they carry over into their Hall of Fame selection process.
Yeah.
Like if they didn't like you while you were
Yeah.
playing, they usually don't vote you in.
Most first ballot Hall of Famers are lopped off in their first year because they don't reach the 5% minimum to be carried over to the next year. So they get 1 year of consideration and they're done.
And then they got to wait so long to go
Right.
to the Veterans Committee.
Yeah, I think it's an additional 10 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
exceptionally complicated.
That was the simple one too.
Oh, great.
Moving on to the NBA Hall of Fame, which will produce a list of eligible players that have been retired for 4 years, coaches or referees that have been retired for 4 years, or they've been active for 25 years or more. That means you can be an active coach and still go into the Hall of Fame. And then if you're a contributor, you just get considered. If you're on the women's list, you need 5 out of 7 votes from the screening committee. If you're just on the North American list, which I guess is the guys list, you need 7 out of 9 votes to be put onto the selection committee. If you get 0 consecutive votes for 3 years, you are suspended for 5 years, and then they bring you back.
Oh damn.
But like very similar to baseball and like the NFL, you need 80% of the votes of the honors committee to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, which in this case translates into 18 out of 24 votes.
So one key difference that we need to make is that it's actually not the NBA Hall of Fame, it is the Basketball Hall of Fame. So they take into
Yes.
account your college career and your Olympic career as well as your NBA career.
Yeah, I forgot to
okay.
specify that.
So it's just the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not even just NBA.
Mhm.
So it's I mean, I think the threshold for the Basketball Hall of Fame is super low. Like, so many guys make it to the NBA
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. It's almost like the Oprah joke. You get to go in the Hall of Fame, and you get to go in the Hall of Fame. Everybody gets to go into the Hall of Fame. Like, there's so many guys that shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame that are because they were names. And I also don't like that. I don't know. I don't like that it's for all of basketball. Like, that kind of
Mhm.
cheapens it. There should be a Collegiate Hall of Fame, and there should be an NBA Hall of Fame. And I don't like that because you were a good college player, you're included with a bunch of NBA legends too.
Correct.
Because you could have a shit NBA career but be a great college player and still make it.
Yeah, I feel like they can do that as well if they do like different wings. And then when you list them online, just really call them different things. Like you can have it in the same building, you can have the same committee, but
Right.
like have different wings and like literally call them different things when you're mentioning them. You
Like,
know,
this is
And
the
I think that
Collegiate
makes
Hall
it
of Fame wing. This is the, and I don't mind like with the international stuff, like with the Olympics, you can include that in the NBA because it's pretty much all NBA guys anymore anyway. It's not like back in the like 70s, 80s and all that when they was only college players. So, I mean, I'm fine with including their, with guys, Olympic runs and international runs too like that. So, but yeah, the NBA is, like I said, to me, it's almost the least legitimate because it lets there's so many guys that just should that go in that shouldn't be.
Yeah, I have noticed that the bar seems to be much lower for basketball because they also have, well, they have 10 players that get put into the final list, but it seems like a great number of those 10 players usually get inducted. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay.
You've usually got at least like 5 or 6 at least making
Yeah.
it every year.
And I forgot to bring it up for the baseball one. There are years where nobody gets in the baseball Hall of
Mhm.
Fame.
That's-
But 2021, I think it was. It's been really recent that
Yeah.
there was a year nobody got
wanted to
in.
go to work in 2021. I don't blame them.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
It's something you had mentioned, Tom, that coaches can be, put in the Hall of Fame while they're still coaching.
Yes.
It's happened 5 different times in the NBA.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So
It turns out you can coach for 25 years and it's not really noticed until you get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And it's like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
you've been
I mean-
coaching for 25 years.
yeah, I mean, to be fair though, coaching 25 years like that's an accomplishment within itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost worthy of the Hall of Fame.
Well, like, I mean, when you look at the lists of the guys that it happened to while they were coaching, you had Greg Popovich, who
Oh, yeah.
won 5 rings in San Antonio. You had Phil Jackson, which Phil Jackson, I mean, need we say more about coach as far as the coaching goes? Jerry Sloan, who was the coach of the Jazz when they went against the Bulls in 97 and 98,
So
and was
you
there
had
for
both,
like 20. Yep.
You had both sides of the ball in that game.
Yep. Both coaches made it while they were still actively coaching. Phil went in 07, Jerry Sloan went in 09. And then you
That's
had Larry Brown, who was a
hilarious.
longtime NBA and college coach. So, and then Lenny Wilkens, which I don't know as much,
No, I don't know Lenny Wilkens.
inducted as a player and a coach
Oh, dang.
while having a long and active. He was active coaching, so he'd been coaching for 25 years, and he went in as a player. So, I mean, dude knew basketball. So it's like it's happened a few times, but Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting that they allow that. And I'm fine with coaches for something like that because you
Mhm.
coach for so long. If you can last for 25 years, you're probably going in anyway. Let's just get it over with.
Oh yeah, especially in an era with
Yeah.
disposable coaches. If you can stay in the game for 25 years, you're doing something right.
Yeah. I mean, with like Popovich, he was the head coach in one team. He was in San Antonio the whole time as a head coach. I mean, I don't think was it
Oh.
25 years? I think he started in like 97, 98 when like right around when Tim Duncan got drafted, which I think is the 97 draft. So,
I thought Duncan was earlier than that. Oh well.
no, Duncan was the first
Oh,
pick in the 97 draft.
sorry, I'm thinking Robinson.
Oh yeah, Robinson is from the 80s.
Yeah. But moving on to a real sport, the NFL. The hall starts by taking all the nominations of eligible players, normally around 150 modern players, and reduce the names down to 50 players. Then the selection committee reduces the 50-player list down to 25 semi-finalists. Then the committee reduces the 25 semi-finalist list down to 15 finalists. I'm already bored. Then a meeting usually held shortly before the Super Bowl. The committee will then reduce the 15 list down to 10, and then immediately reduce the 10 list down to 7, and then finally reduce the 7 list down to 3 to 5 players. And then you can, and each player on the list has to get 40 of the 50 votes, so 80%. And then you can add the supplemental seniors, coaches, owners on top of that. I won't get into that nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, the thing with the NFL one is it feels like the NFL Hall of Fame is kind of like if you were on a really good team, there's a good chance you might be in the Hall of Fame. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's funny because some guy, and it also feels like sometimes like they also don't have a consistent way to pick either. Like some guys is because their peak was really, really high, but for a short amount of time. Like Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis was the best running back in the league for like 3 seasons, maybe 4, and then was pretty much done, but still made the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Because he was so dominant for during that time. But then you got some guys that are average for about 20 years and might get in the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I mean, with respect, I think Eli Manning was a little below average most of the time of his career. He had some good game or some good seasons, but I think majority of it was below. It feels so much more like a popularity contest than the rest of them.
Yeah.
Like if you have friends, if you were a player that attracted a lot of attention, you're going to get in. And I mean, unfortunately, I feel like that's just because of football. Like it is really more of a team sport than other sports. And the quarterback can't throw the ball if the linemen don't hold the line. And the touchdown doesn't happen if the receiver doesn't catch the ball. And at all the same time, the quarterback won't get sacked if the linemen don't get to him. And if the lineman can't get to him, then the cornerback needs to bat the ball out of the air. On both sides of the ball, like you have to do your job. You have to be a team player, and you can't go out there with less than 11 guys. And I think that's the unfortunate thing about the Hall, and that's why it becomes a popularity contest, because how do you judge it? When you're on a great player on a terrible team, look at Terrell Owens. Half the time he would show up and make the team great, and then he would leave and they wouldn't make the playoffs for 3 years. And like he destroyed the Niners when he left that team. And it's like, well, what do you do with a guy like that? Should he be in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, probably, because he was one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, but he never won a Super Bowl. And then, but Nick Foles did, and Nick Foles probably doesn't belong in the Super Bowl, or at the Super Bowl, in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's my biggest argument too with Eli Manning is he had 2 fluke playoff runs that he did win, and I'm not going to take that again. He was a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and I mean, they did what they had to do when they got to the playoffs. But those are the only 2 playoff runs, the only 2 times he made the playoffs his entire career. Like, other than that, you were at best a 500 quarterback outside of those couple seasons. And so it's like that's why it's so hard for some of these. Like, I mean, and for me, when we look at some of these, like, it's hard to judge like offensive linemen for me because I don't dive that deep into a lot of the games, and I'll be fair and honest about that. So judging offensive linemen is the hardest one for me, unless they're those guys that they talk about, which is rare.
In defense of the lesser Manning, I have to point out that with the longevity of his career, I will concede the vast majority of his, he was 04? So,
Yeah.
And so he's got like a 16-year career-ish.
Yeah, like 16, 17, something like that. He was in there for a long time, and I'm not going to take that away from him either, because that's an accomplishment too.
And that kind of that longevity has contributed to some of the records that he has set, where he is number 11 in, I want to say, 4 quarterback record stats of all time. And I find it hilarious that he's just outside the top 10 in 4 of them. It's just like it's like Peyton picking on his little brother, even in the stat books.
Right. And like I said, I mean, I'll give him credit. Like I said, I mean, to have a 16, 17-year career like that it's
with
impressive.
With the Giants.
Well, here's what I will say, at least in the beginning of his career, the Giants actually weren't a bad team. It wasn't until the end of his career that they really got just absolute dumpster fire. Because it's like in the beginning of his career, you had guys like Tiki Barker, Amani Toomer.
Amari Tuma.
Different guy.
He's the one who started it.
He is the one that started it, and then Amari Cooper came in and it changed to Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, you had good players in the beginning, and then they got worse at the end. And I mean, and also too, they sat him his rookie season. He didn't play every game. He only played 9. He started 7 because Kurt Warner was there. So they had Kurt Warner starting the season off, and then they brought Eli in later. So, and I mean, it's a rookie year, so I mean, it was bad, but you know, after that, he actually wasn't, because his sophomore year, he went 11-5. And so I mean, they had some good years. I'm not going to say they didn't, but for the most part, I mean, you had some winning seasons, but you had, 8-8, 8-8, 9-7, 9-7, 7-9, 6-10, 3-12, 5-11. Like, I mean, you had bad seasons in there too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he led the league in interceptions 3 separate seasons. So, I don't know. Like, it's just one of those things, and it's also not like the thing too, like even with someone like Joe Namath, where at that time, like, he was one of the better quarterbacks in the league of that generation. When you go back and look at his overall stats, they don't look good, but he was one of those dudes in the NFL at that point. Eli was never one of those guys. He was just a guy.
That's why I used to call him All Shucks Manning.
Even if you look at his Pro Football Reference, it looks like he's just saying "oh shucks" in his head as he's getting the picture taken.
Shucks.
Like, but so yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, career 500, man. That's all I got to say is career 500.
But moving on to the class of 2026, threw together a small visual. We have Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly. Thank you. Adam Vinatieri and Roger Craig. I actually remember Roger Craig from the Joe Montana era of football. Yep. And so I was like, hey, I know that guy.
And I bet he got in because it was in San Francisco.
Oh God, I hope not. I hope
Well,
it was something more significant
I
than
mean,
that.
he retired back in like what, the 90s? Yeah, 93. So like,
Yeah,
and so he was eligible starting in 98, we'll
98.
say. And he hasn't even gotten close now till now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, to me,
Yeah.
that reeks of it's San Francisco bias. And again, he was part of the 80s 49ers.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. There's a local guy here in Philly, and he actually did he wrote a play about his life, and it's really the play's actually about is how he like dedicated his life to getting this one particular Eagle into the Hall of Fame, and like all the different shit that he tried to do to get him in there, and it took him like 25 years, but he finally got him into the Hall of Fame, and he, like every year was putting him up. And so, I mean, I imagine there was somebody in San Francisco doing the same thing, and maybe they were like, you know what, it's in San Francisco this year, why the hell not? You know, like I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah. And I mean, he didn't have terrible stats when you look at it, but again, it's hard to look
No.
at stats with some of these guys because the era was so different. But like, I mean, he ended his career with almost 8,200 rushing yards on 4 yards an attempt and 56 touchdowns.
You want to know what hurt him the most? Is that there was this big shadow being cast called Jerry Rice. And no one else could see
That's fair.
anything on that team except Joe Montana and Jerry Rice.
That is very fair.
Yeah, I think he's really one of the first like dual threat running backs, honestly. Because his total receiving yards for his career was 4,911. So I mean, he had over 12,000 combined yards between receiving and rushing. And yeah, I think he's kind of one of the prototypes for that kind of dual threat back, like Marshall Faulk, like Christian McCaffrey. Like he's kind of one of the starters for that. And I mean, to be fair too, he did get third place MVP voting in '88. So I mean, he had a really good season in 1988. I mean, he had 2,000 scrimmage yards, first All Pro, MVP third, and then Offensive Player of the Year for that year, along with the Pro Bowl when it actually mattered.
Dude, that's nothing, man. In 1988, I was like potty trained, and I could feed myself, and I was able to walk around without anybody helping me.
Man, I'm jealous, dude. In 1988, I was still kind of probably throwing up on myself and peeing on myself. Yeah, we're showing our age here, guys. It's fun though.
You guys suck.
We're making Tom feel even older in the process. Bonus.
I was just like, yeah, man. I was in my junior year of high school in '88.
Shut up. So anyways, moving on from the current 2026 Hall of Fame class to the 2027 future Hall of Fame class. All right, so what we have here is A, the players that were passed over this year, and B, the new promising players that are most likely going to be on the list for next year. You've got Rob Gronkowski, Adrian Peterson, Ben Roethlisberger, Alex Mack, Richard Sherman, Eric Waddle, Antonio Brown, Gerald McCoy, and Cam Newton. I have very low expectations of Cam Newton's chances in the next Hall of Fame, but I kind of want to get your guys' guess. If you had to assemble a Hall of Fame class, who are you putting in? And you get 5 of these guys.
I mean, if you're asking me, there's not a chance in hell Robert Kraft going in the Hall of Fame. I think it is completely ridiculous that they put owners in the Hall of Fame. Like, it is literally an award you invented to give to yourself. It's really stupid. They should just take him off the list. I don't know. Like, some of the older guys I don't know, so I'm gonna feel bad because I'm really gonna slant towards recency. I think they're not going to snub Bill a second time. So
No,
Belichick's going in.
I was gonna say my first bullet too would be Bill Belichick.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I could see Gronk being this is his first ballot, right?
Yep.
Roethlisberger, I think this is his first ballot. So I could see both of them going in first ballot. Maybe Eli.
Thank you.
They might make Eli wait another year. Maybe they make him wait another year. But I can
that'd
see
be
that.
the worst.
I
Yeah.
want Cam Newton to go in, but I agree with you. I don't think he's going to go in first ballot. But I don't know. I mean, maybe Richard Sherman. He was really good, but people know that.
I think as far as first ballot guys, it's going to be one or two of those top three. It's going to be Gronk, or I bet Roethlisberger's probably a lock the way Breeze was. Like he was one of the better quarterbacks of that generation, and he was up there with he wasn't the same level quite as like Brady and Manning, but I mean he would easily fit in that same tier as like Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, like those guys. He would fit in that second tier.
Andy's got a Super Bowl.
He's got two.
Does he have two?
He has two. When they beat the Seahawks and when they beat the Cardinals. He's got two Super Bowls.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yep.
I just remember the Cardinals.
Yeah, no, the Seahawks one was that first year we were at Tech in 06. Or first year I was at Tech in 06, and then when they won that iPod.
I remember that.
But yeah, that was his first one. So, I mean, he won a Super Bowl 2 years into his career, basically.
Yep, that's right. He was one of the sophomore quarterbacks.
It's a good one good story because that was Jerome Bettis's last year, and Bettis announced it before the season started, and Roethlisberger came up to him in the locker room and promised him a Super Bowl on his way out, and then delivered, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Peterson, maybe. I just don't think that Peterson's going to be in first ballot. I do think he will be in, just not in the first ballot.
Yeah, I feel like his controversy is going to probably keep him out a little bit.
Yeah.
I know it blew over. I know that he started playing again, and had a career after that. And I know, time heals all wounds. People forget. But I do think it's going to taint him a little bit. I kind of feel the same with Antonio Brown. I know he didn't have, like the legal trouble that Adrian Peterson got into. But Antonio Brown lost his mind the last 2 seasons. Like completely lost his mind, like refusing to play because he couldn't wear a specific helmet and like walking out in the middle of the Jets game and like booing the crowd in the process and throwing his helmet. Like,
and his pads.
It was just, and his pads. Like he lost his mind, and they're going to remember that more than they're going to remember his time in the Steelers, I think.
Yeah. And it's funny because I didn't remember that he played that long from 10 to 11. I mean, 11-year career is not bad, but really he had that peak of like 4 years where he was the receiver in the NFL, like the best receiver in the NFL. But yeah, I mean, his mental meltdown at the last, like really 3 years, because it started in New England. And then the last year in Pittsburgh, even, because that's why Pittsburgh got rid of him and sent him out to New England. They're just like, we don't want to deal with this anymore.
That's the thing. Like when we were going through it, was tempted to blame COVID, but it was like, no, dude, this started in 2018. Like he was really losing his mind for a while. And I feel bad for the guy because he was clearly going through some stuff and he needed help that people weren't giving him. But at the same time, wow, it was a monumental blow up.
Because it started with him recording stuff in the locker room and like live streaming from the locker room.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that.
Because it was like a post game speech from Tomlin, and he was like live streaming on Instagram during it with like Tomlin in the background, and that's kind of what started the downward slope of him.
Gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I think that was like 7. I mean, it may have been 17, but it was at least 18 because it was in Pittsburgh. So 17 or 18, something like that. And then it just got worse from that. So Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I agree. I can see Eli. I'd love to see like Frank Gore or like Torrey Holt or Reggie Wayne go in. I'd love to see Willie Anderson because I mean, again, we don't get a ton of linemen like that go in either, and he was one of those guys that you knew because they talked about him all the time being one of the best linemen in the league. So,
Yeah.
I mean, bias reasons, I mean, Woodson and Witten. I don't know if Woodson's ever going to make it though, to be honest with you. Like, he was good, but I don't know if he was ever like that Hall of Fame level, to be honest with you. I need to go back and kind of watch some more of his stuff. And I feel like Witten's kind of that same kind of person where he was around for so long that his stats got good, kind of like Eli's was. Like, I mean, he was always one of the top, like, I'd say between 5 and 10, because I don't think he was ever like the best tight end in the league, but he was one
Yeah.
of the better ones in the league and just consistent every year.
Yeah.
So,
I gotta admit, Witten was one of my picks for this year, and I was super surprised he fell off.
yeah, I feel like him and Eli are in that same kind of boat where they were just consistent for a really long time.
Yeah, and they were just par, but they had
Mhm.
these spikes that
Yep.
just
Yeah.
blew the roof off.
Yeah, as like I said, as much as I love Witten being a Cowboys fan and stuff, I feel like that's kind of where a lot of his comes in is just from that. He was consistent between 800 to 1,000 yards every year, and every year, and then some years you'd get that 12 to 1,500 yards because they didn't have any other receivers, and he was the best receiver on the team. So,
You know, it's funny when I think Jason Witten, the very first thing I think of is if you remember that press conference that Terrell Owens had, and he was complaining that him and Tony Romo used to be bunkmates at training camp, and now he bunks with Jason Witten, and he thinks that they're conspiring to create plays so that it doesn't go to T.O. and it goes to Witten instead. I don't know if you remember that. It was like, dude, maybe if you stop dropping passes and you got open once in a while, like, you'd get the ball towards you.
yeah, my first thought of Jason Witten, honestly, is I forget who they were playing, but he caught the ball and then basically gets his helmet ripped off, but then still runs an extra like 25 yards downfield
God.
with no
Yeah, I
helmet
remember that.
and just like
remember
shrugs
that.
off a couple dudes in the process. Like that's the first thing of when I think of.
Yeah. That scene was so like anime too, because they hit him and he just kind of swings his head and his helmet comes off and like just kind of shakes it and then runs from the end zone. You know?
Yeah, like I mean, that's one of those like where we get some of those plays every now and then. But yeah, he's a competitor, but I don't know if he'll ever make it. To be honest, I really don't. I mean, Gronk's going in before he is by far.
Oh, and well deserved, sure.
Yeah, not saying anything against it at all.
So before I put a bow on the topic, are you guys are just saying that Bill Belichick is the senior going in from this group? That
Oh, for sure.
Kraft, Greenwood,
Yeah.
and Anderson are
I don't
gonna
know.
get passed
See,
over again?
I mean, I know about Anderson a little bit because he was the Bengals quarterback before Boomer Esiason got there.
Yep.
And
That's how
so,
old he is.
yeah, well, 71 to 86. I mean, I just don't know enough about his career to really tell you about it, to be honest. I mean, I know I think the all-time leading passer for the Bengals, I think. But
That
like,
wouldn't surprise me.
I just don't know enough to really tell you. He might, but I know that this last year that one of the guys said that he voted for Greenwood and for Roger Craig over Belichick because they were coming up towards the end of their ballot eligibility, and he wanted to vote for
Yeah.
players over coaches.
See, I thought that was interesting because I didn't find anything about ballot eligibility except for the MLB. I don't know that the NFL has that at all.
And I mean, I guess it may have been also too that they had gotten less and less votes, so he wanted to get him more votes to keep him on the ballot, possibly.
That could be.
I don't know, but I do know that there was at least one writer that had said that he wanted to prioritize players over coaches, and so he voted for some of the older guys over Belichick and Kraft.
That flies. I can appreciate that.
So, but yeah.
But that moves us into the next category of the podcast, the Olympic gold medals, or the Olympic medals. We have the rest of this week in the 2026 Winter Olympics ending on Sunday. Currently, Norway is leading with 32 medals, 15 of which are gold. Then Italy with 25 medals, 9 gold. And finally, the US of A with 24 and 7. Yeah, it turns out we're way better at summer sports than winter sports. But hey.
I've got Norway with 33 medals.
Oh. That might be. I updated this morning, so.
Yeah. I was just going to say, with as many mountain ranges as we have in this country, you'd think we'd be better at winter sports. Man, I was watching snowboarding big air. I don't know how much of the Olympics you guys watch, but my God, the Japanese guys were killing it. And it was just like, man, I bet they get the best snow in Japan. Like, I gotta go.
Well, and the Chinese women won the women's big air.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did they? Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, they got a lot of mountain ranges out in China too. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, some of it's been cool. I was watching. I think they called it the skeleton, which is almost like the luge, I think is what it was. And I was watching the women's luge event. Dude, I mean, it's amazing that they get up to the speeds that they get up to. Like, I think the fastest one I saw topped out at like 77.9 miles an hour going down the track on
Head first.
nothing but
Head first, people on ice.
Yeah. On nothing but like a basically a carbon fiber sled with no padding and a helmet. You're basically wearing almost like a wetsuit. It's like a neoprene suit,
insane.
basically. Yeah.
With like no brakes. I mean, I think they have brakes, but they're not real brakes.
It's
like,
their feet.
They're just a thing that, like, oh my God, it's insane. The bobsledding is what I've been watching.
Yeah, and like the track isn't wide either. The track's maybe, 3-4 feet wide? Like, it's not a big track. You don't have any room. You have like almost no room to make a mistake. And it's just, it was crazy. Some of the, like, I mean, pretty much all of them were like under a minute, but I think the fastest time for the heats that I saw was like 57 seconds or something like that. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's just some of the getting to watch some of these is so cool because we never see these outside the Olympics. Like, we don't see any, like, almost any of these sports at all. So getting to see some of this stuff is really cool.
Do they have like quarterly skeleton finals in the world outside of the Olympics? Like, I've never heard of the sport outside of that.
Yeah, like, I mean, I know track and field does they'll do like the like world meets and international meets and things like that. I don't know if they do stuff like that for some of these winter sports. I don't know. I guess I kind of assumed that they probably did. We just never talk about it.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think even the X Games has them, right? Like, the X Games will do snowboarding. But...
Yeah, no, they don't do luge or nothing like that. No, or bobsled.
Yeah.
So unless they do some sort of an international meet and competition between Olympics, we really only see it ever from that.
I'd love to try a bobsled. I think it would be a lot of fun. Like, the skeleton's too much for me, but a bobsled looks like a lot of fun. I want to be the middle guy, though. I don't want to be brakes. I don't want to steer. I just push. I get in and I stay still and hold on for dear life.
And I'm here the weight that has to like just turn and move. It's like Cool
exactly.
Runnings in the bathtub. Just
yep.
The closest we get around here is the toboggan racing.
Yeah. But I want to try skiing at some point. I just want to see if I can do it.
Did we ever get Pete up to the toboggan racing when he was here, or
I've only been as a kid, so I haven't been up there since I was like 10.
Yeah. Opportunity missed.
Yeah.
Moving on to the NBA All-Star recap, where 3 teams played in a round robin: the Stars, the Stripes, and the World. Stars won over the world 37-35. Stripes won over the Stars 42-40, and then Stripes won over the world 48-45, which led to the All-Star Championship where the Stars dominated the Stripes 47-21. And your All-Star MVP is Anthony Edwards of the Timberwolves and Team Stars. I love how I came out and said how stacked Team World was, and they didn't even make it to the championship.
Well, you have to think, like, Giannis didn't play. I think there's a couple other guys that Shea didn't play either from Team World either. So they had to have replacements for those two guys because they were both hurt. And yeah, like, it's one of those things, and it's funny, the young guys, the Stripes was like the young all-stars, and I think one of them, the ones that came in second were the old guys, basically like LeBron, Curry, Durant. Like, the old guys got whooped by the young guys.
Yeah, that's Stripes. Stripes were the old guys, and Stars were the young guys.
Yeah. So, I don't know, we'll see. It was a better game than I thought because they actually tried.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately tried.
Yeah.
And like, it's great too, because to me, the way that I saw it is like, when the world team was playing either one of the U.S. teams, it was more pride U.S. versus the world. And then when it was the two U.S. teams playing each other, it was the old guys trying to prove they can still hang with the young guys, and the young guys just say, no, you can't hang with us anymore. Your time is done.
Yeah.
Like, it was pride all the way around. Like, it actually worked out really well. I liked it.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was really skeptical about the way they set this up, but it worked out better than the NFL Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Well done to you guys. This was good.
And I think part of that, especially on the world team, is Wemby, because he cares. Like, he wants to win. It doesn't matter if it's the All-Star game or if it's a preseason game. He's got that mindset of, I just want to beat dudes. I don't care what it is in it, what it's in. I just want to win at all costs. I'll do whatever it takes. And that kind of mindset is something the NBA has missed for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think that helps set the tone a lot as well, because I think, and guys know that he's out there to just wreck house on everybody.
All right, Adam, bring us home.
All right, Pete, what you got for final thoughts?
Yeah, I want to give a congratulations to Tekla and my condolences to my girl Chris Statlander. Unfortunately, Tekla did beat Big Stat Daddy for the women's world title, so she is the new AEW Women's World Champion. So, congratulations, Tekla. Glad to see they're actually doing something with you, not that they brought you in. But my condolences to Statlander. You deserve better.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to the friends and family of Robert Duvall, a phenomenal actor, such masterworks as Apocalypse Now, The Godfather, and Days of Thunder, bringing it to a sports theme. Also, the friends and family of Brad Arnold, the lead singer of Three Doors Down. I was lucky enough to see Brad Arnold perform right before he went into his cancer treatments. You will be missed, both of you. Congratulations to Tyler Reddick for winning the Daytona 500 last Sunday. If you didn't get a chance to see the final lap, I highly recommend it. A wreck in turn one takes out the 3 of the top 6 cars, leaving Reddick in third, and it was a fight all the way to turn 4 where Reddick and Chase Elliott were neck and neck, and a car in third place lost control and hit Chase Elliott from behind, letting Reddick take the win. This is the first Daytona 500 win for Tyler Reddick, who drives the number 45 car for Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Look at that.
That's
and if
right.
if I'm not mistaken, Jordan actually won their team won the Constructors Cup, this Constructors Championship last year.
That might be right. I think that sounds right. But the funniest part of this whole thing was the fact that Chumba Casino is the primary sponsor for 45. To think of all the people that complained about Michael Jordan's gambling, that Michael Jordan got sponsored by a gambling phone app that doesn't play with real money, I just find that hilarious. And that's just Michael Jordan just smacking people.
That is hilarious. I love it.
Hilarious.
Oh man, but yeah. So now Michael Jordan is not only an NBA champion, but also a Daytona 500 owner champion.
Correct.
On the same kind of vein as thoughts and prayers also go out to Catherine O'Hara's family. She was the mom from Home Alone. She also was in Schitt's Creek as well. Had a very long and illustrious acting career, and she passed away from between our last episode as well. So thoughts and prayers going out there as well to that family. And then back on the sports side, we've got men's college and women's college basketball season coming to an end, and here soon we'll start the conference tournaments, which then will lead into March Madness. Always a fun time in college sports. So that'll be coming up. I think the conference championships possibly start next week. It's going to be coming up soon. So we'll see. The season is very quickly coming to an end, and it's been kind of fun watching some of the young guys and see who's going to be coming into the draft for next season. So, anybody else got last things they want to say?
Oh, we can't forget thoughts and prayers for James Van the Geeks family, because we also lost him since our last podcast. Varsity Blues of Dawson's Creek.
So many losses.
I know. The original team heartthrob.
Here I thought that was Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
James Vanderbeek, man.
Fair enough. But that'll be it for today, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. And you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Geeks and Greeks. Until next time, guys, may the coin toss of life ever be in your favor. Later.
See ya.
Peace.
Emotional damage.
Yep.